going on, guys? I'm back for another video. Today we're doing something pretty cool. Today we're doing another recreation build, and we're actually doing Han's RX7 from Tokyo Drift. This is a really incredible car. A car I've been wanting to recreate for a while now. Oh, that's awesome. The headlights pop up when you do that. Car I've been wanting to recreate for a while now. His actual car was a lot newer RX7. I believe his was the 2005. And this is in 1997, so it's not going to be perfect, and obviously we don't have the right body kits or spoilers or anything like that in the game, so it's not going to be a perfect build, but I do believe that it'll be pretty cool regardless. So anyway, obviously got to put the sweet Rocket Buddy wide body kit on. Like I said, it's not the exact build he has, or the build of the car, and I don't believe his car actually had that kit on. I'm gonna actually just leave it with the kit off for now. Now that I'm actually like thinking about it, like looking at a picture of the car, we're gonna leave the kit off for now. I don't know what motor he had in it. I'm just gonna assume that it was turboed and leave the stock motor in there. Obviously it's rear-wheel drive, but let's see if we can find any bumpers that look pretty much like it. So all three of these look very similar to it. We're gonna take the one that's the lowest, or actually. I think this one's probably the closest. Actually, we're gonna go with this one because those fog lights underneath actually look a lot like the headlights on the actual 2005 RX7. So we're gonna throw that on just to give it a little more of a little better look to it. And then obviously we don't have the correct spoiler for it. I don't know. It's really like it's either just a straight ducktail or a straight huge spoiler, and it's kind of like an in-between spoiler. But we're just going to go ahead and throw the Forza one on. I think that's the closest we can get to it. The back of the car, I'm not really sure. I think that that looks the closest to it. I really wish that it had the veil slide, I believe is what it's called. The kit that it had on it and stuff like that. I guess it'd be really cool. But unfortunately, we don't have it, so we can't do it exact. And none of these really look like it, but I will just throw one on just so it looks flush with the body kit. Perfect, we'll just throw that on. And then hood-wise, does have an aftermarket hood. It looks a little bit like that one, so we'll go ahead and throw that one on. And then now we just got to find some wheels, and then we can hop into the upgrades. I have an idea of what the wheels that we're going to need, but it's just going to be a matter of fact of finding them. They're not really too crazy wheels. They're just kind of some normal five spoke wheels. Nothing super crazy. Was it these? No, I would do those if I could paint them. But this paint has the wheels left alone. If I could just paint the wheels like a chrome color, I definitely would have picked those. But I believe this is what I was looking for. Yeah, these are probably the closest we're gonna get to them. If these didn't have the little like beadlock kind of dots around the wheel, it would definitely would be like perfect. But unfortunately, it does have that, and he has pretty huge rims. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the 19s on. I do want to upgrade this a little bit because this is gonna be a drift build, and then we're gonna widen up the tires a little bit, not completely maxed out, but we will just put a little bit wider tires in there, just so we can control ourselves. And then we're just gonna go throw on all this stuff so we can tune correctly. The car itself only has 306 horsepower and 256 torque, so it's not really super crazy. Definitely, it would be that's very respectable in real life terms. It's a very quick car, very awesome. Does he have a roll cage? No, he doesn't. I don't think so. No, he doesn't have a roll cage, so we'll throw that in. But yeah, 300 horsepower is very respectable, pretty good. I did put the rally suspension on just because we are going to lower it, and it does give us that extra angle. So I'm gonna give it more, obviously more than 300 horsepower. We'll just throw those on and then upgrade the turbo. So we're looking at 375 horsepower. It gives us a little bit more horsepower to just be able to just play with and upgrade. I'm surprised this thing actually doesn't really go that high. Maybe this gives you a lot. Okay, yeah, that gives you a lot of horsepower. We'll just go ahead and throw these on because these don't give it that much more, but I do just need a little more. 430. That's very easy to play with. I can make a good drift car out of that. I just made just this morning I made a Subaru WRX STI drift car that only had 450 horsepower, I believe. So we should be fine with this. But let's hop in and do a quick little tune job on it. The car is pretty low, but not completely slammed, so I will just throw it pretty low, but not completely slammed. And then we do have the rally suspension, so we will want to stiffen up this, or we'll just be bouncing all over the place because our suspension's so low. We'll be rubbing, just scraping on the ground. I think it'd be cool if you could if they just had it so that like all of the aftermarket suspension in this game would just give you the extra steering angle, so I didn't have to do this stuff. And then we're obviously going to go lock out the diff and then just roll that down. So yeah, and then all this stuff, all camber wise and all this stuff wise, I'll probably just adjust this. Let's go around to where I had it in the Subaru. I think it was 344. So maybe hopefully that'll be good for us. Tire pressure wise and camber wise, we'll just change that just based on what I think we'll need to make this thing a viable drift car. And I believe we are down in Byron Bay. And look at this thing, it sounds incredible too. Has a very unique turbo sound to this thing. I never actually noticed that. I think it's because I've never used a stock motor in this thing, just because it doesn't really give you that great of power. It's got a really long blow off. That sounds awesome. Man, that's sick. All right, so let's do some drifting here. Just go through the neighborhood a bit, see what we need to do to the thing. Definitely gonna want some camber in the back. It's a little low on power, so I am gonna go ahead and do that right now. So we'll just throw on about -1, 2, and then just a little bit more on the front, and we should be a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little better. We're coming in with a big corner, got a bunch of speed going into it. Obviously, if I was gonna make this thing like a proper drift build, I would obviously put a lot more horsepower into this thing. I'd probably just max out the stock motor, but that's not what we're doing. We're not doing a drift build. We're doing a recreation build. So we're trying to get this thing as accurate as possible, while still fun to drive, to the actual movie build. And I believe that's what we did here. This is looking mighty fine. It's a little grippy, just because it doesn't have an insane amount of power. But I believe that if I just get used to that and stay around second, third gear ish, I believe that I could make this thing slide pretty good. Byron Bay is probably going to be, can't English today. It's probably going to be one of the best spots to drift this thing with if you're just going for freestyle. Maybe you could go to the parking lot. You probably wouldn't be able to keep up with many cars if you were doing some tandems online. But definitely a fun car to just hop in and just hoon around with. And really good around these just tight little neighborhood right-handers and left-handers, just straight corners. Get around that Supra. Go down this little path right here. This thing's pretty good. It's really fun to drift cars like this because it's a lot more of a challenge. Because you can't really rely on just sheer power that much, and you can't just throw massive angle into the corners, and it's really a difficult kind of balance between staying sideways and like not being too sideways, and just like making sure you have enough speed to make it through the corners, and then obviously make it through the next one. Like I don't think we're gonna be able to make that right there. You'd have to straighten out a little bit. It gave us a little bit too much speed. We did bump the wall right there. Could play it off like a drift tap, but we all know that I didn't do that on purpose. This thing's pretty nice, though. I will say that. I will say it's pretty nice. Little lackluster on power there, because it just obviously doesn't have a lot of power, and the gears are a little long. Normally I'd go a lot longer gears actually with my cars, and I'd be drifting through this whole sections and stuff in third gear. But just because obviously this thing, I would do that with cars that have to 900 horsepower, and this obviously being around 450. It's not really anything super crazy, but some mad angle, throw it around, drift it all the way around this big old hairpin here, just feathering the throttle. This thing's pretty fun. It does look, obviously it doesn't look perfect, but I mean, you know, if you're just at first glance or whatever, you're like, damn, that thing looks perfect. Like, you know, it looks good from a distance, but then you know, you get kind of close, and if you're a big fan of the series, you recognize the car. You know that it's not an exact build, but this is definitely as close as I think we could get in the game right now. It'd be super cool if they did add the 2005 WRX, RX7, in like maybe I don't know, like a car pack or maybe a Forza-thon, get it for free. That'd be cool. This thing's just nice though. Damn. Might add this to my favorites and be one of the cars I take out on the regular. Oh yeah, I'm starting dialed in. That corner is pretty nice. I don't really have like a defined route that I'm kind of going by right now. I'm just kind of drifting around, just doing some freestyling. You know how it is. This thing's pretty nice though. I like this thing. I'm really happy with this build. I'm not really like struggling. Definitely was a little bit of a struggle at the start because it's just a very awkward kind of car to drive. But definitely once you get used to it, it is nice. It is fun. Shit, sometimes I can't even tell that it's low on power. It gets pretty sideways. Obviously, I could make it a bit more slidey if I just threw like max camber on it and maxed out the tire pressure and stuff. But you know, the thing's also gotta be like manageable, because obviously he drove the car. I think it was his daily driver. After obviously Mona Lisa rip. But yeah, it was his daily driver, so it's obviously gotta handle correctly. It can't just have zero grip and just not want to drive anywhere. Cause see, it kind of grips up a little bit. I'm doing a little bit of slalom. It's got some grip. I mean, obviously I can't go super fast, but it's got some grip. And then when you want it to get sideways, it definitely can. Just slaying that outside clipping point. Little sketchy through that section. This thing drift's nice though. I like this thing. I really like this build. I'm very proud of this build. This is a really good build. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Whatever you feel like doing. If you want to see me do a different recreation build, whether it's a car from Fast and Furious, like I'm pretty much all of the recreation builds have been, or if it's just a car from anything, like a YouTuber's car or whatever, whatever kind of build, let me know down in the comments down below. But anyway, again, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Whatever you feel like doing. I hope to see you guys in the next video. And as always, guys, I'm out.